Men seek power while rejecting the architecture that creates it. And the discipleship discipline is in privation, it's divine order. The link is in the description below. So the first thing you have to understand is if you're a masculine man and you're coming into a space where you might have built your business already, right? The cash flow's coming, you already have a system set up. But the interesting thing is because you've built a business doesn't mean that you've built your understanding of self. Right. So you have to take a look in the mirror and say, okay, cool. Well, I built up my business. I have a lot of comforts now because the things that I desire to do when I was a civilian are now here. But you can't treat it as if, oh, I have all this time and I have all this freedom and I can do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's not the case. You have to have discipline and you have to treat it as a sacred ritual that you execute on every single day. So the first thing that you have to do is reframe discipline into a sacred practice. Modern culture mistakes indulgence for freedom. True liberation demands conscious constraint. Your daily habits reflect your spiritual alignment or decay. Discipline is organized intention made consistent. The spiritual mature man honors boundaries as sacred. We've said this before. The only way to get the freedom that you're looking for that is going to be sustainable is with discipline. Discipline gives you freedom. There's no other way to put it. You want to indulge in women, you want to indulge in food, you want to indulge in flights, you want to indulge in luxury, you want to indulge in whatever the hell you is that you want to indulge in, you must have a side of discipline that is unmatched to the freedom that you're seeking. It has to go crazy. You have to set up blocks of time that you do certain things. You have to put systems in place so you don't overindulge. And then you end up, waking up late. Now your circadian rhythm is off. Now your routine's out of whack. Now you're allowing the leaks that you have in your personal life to bleed into your business. Now the cash flow slows up. You see how it's merged. Everything is merged. Self-mastery gives you business. Right? So if that's the case, you have to have discipline and stick by it no matter what. And the reality of the life that you probably already live and you already have understood is that how you show up for your business is how you show up in your personal life. How you show up in your personal life is how you show up in your business. And therefore, realistically, you can't change the one thing that stays constant, which is you. So make sure that the routine and the setup that you have is impenetrable. Create the boundaries. Say no. Your best friend, like the best friend that you must have is the word no. Walk around with it in your back pocket. You want to go here? No. You want to go here? No. You want to go here? No. Why? Because you can always come back and say yes to a previous no. But you have to align it with where you are current. And sometimes there are seasons that you're in that don't allow you to say yes. When you want to, you have to say no. So honor your boundaries. And honoring your boundaries is simply just having discipline. Discipline is literally a sacred way of life. And therefore, few of us really get to touch it in totality. Right? The freedom that you think you have, you don't have. Right? We walk around with these all day. This takes your freedom from the get up, from the second you wake up, if you're not careful. Whereas some of us have multiple of them. Right? So you're always being pulled in different ways. So you have to have discipline. And so the geometry of the universal order is something that you have to now understand. So the universe operates by laws in proportion. Nothing is random. We've gone over this before. Every act of discipline aligns you with cosmic mathematics. When you obey your structure, reality begins to obey you. Sacred geometry manifests in disciplined routines. Pattern recognition is spiritual intelligence. When you can sit and understand, and you've heard me speak about this in videos before, law. The laws of the realm are what keep us here in understanding this reality in the way that we do. So the second you operate from the laws of the realm and you start to begin to say, I have a structure that was given to me by the energy that I was granted as a male. You are given discipline off bat. You are given masculine energy, which is discipline and structure. So if you have this structure and you operate from it with the laws of the realm, understanding in the overall goal, centralized goal that you have for your life, and you make every decision based upon making sure that that goal gets executed in the material and not just in the spiritual. What does that mean? You're not just sitting in a corner praying, oh God, I want this with no action. You hear all the spiritual gurus talking about it. It's one of the big things nowadays, talking about manifestation. Manifestation comes from the discipline structure that you put in place and you never run away from. no matter what's around you, no matter how your environment's operating, no matter what feminine is polarized towards you, you stay within your masculine structure because the laws of the realm will keep you in that structure if you abide by them. And so when you start to abide by these rules within your disciplined structure, reality begins to obey you, which means it shifts to you. And therefore, a lot of you see it as, that guy's lucky, that guy's lucky. Why am I not that lucky? You're not lucky because you have no fucking discipline. The second you start to understand that the people that are luckier than you have discipline is when you realize that it's not necessarily that they're lucky or luck is favoring them. No, everything, if we already just said, nothing is at random, nothing is a coincidence. It's happening for a reason. And more times than not, the more structured you are, the luckier life gets for you. Ritualizing excellence is this way. You have to set up 4 pillars: wake up, work, war, wisdom. What does that look like before I continue? Wake up, go to work, and then go to war, because it's going to expose things to you that you have to wage war, right? And then wisdom comes by sitting down and reflecting every day what you had to do throughout the day. But every repetition is practice made sacred. Your systems become your sanctuary. Discipline transcends motivation. It becomes sacred obedience. Ritual transforms routine into spiritual technology. Take the time to assess your life. I can't tell you how much assessing your life will change your life. Because as successful men, we have this tendency to really get comfortable in the things that are working for us. We think that the very things that made us successful are the things we must identify as. You have something that ignites your success, and therefore you think you must continue to do it over and over and over. And some of that is control. Some of that is the lust factor, right? We're really charismatic. And therefore, there comes a time where we're polarized with women so much, but we don't have the structure to really understand what we're doing. And therefore, we fall into the lust, so we're always around women. But it does well for business because what? Women will spend where other women are, and men will follow women. I have all these women around us because it works for business. It works for the perception, and you know that. Perception is basically reality in this realm. No one wants to take life from perspective anymore. They want to take it from the perception. So again, it works with business when we have these things that ignite our success, but they aren't meant to sustain it. And therefore you have to take the time to really understand, okay, cool. What is it that I do well? What is it that I may need to let go on a personal standpoint to further my business and get off this plateau, get out of this psychological loop? Right? Just because we're successful doesn't mean we don't have psychological loops as well. We certainly do. And a lot of that stems from the igniter. Whatever ignite your business to go and that you didn't let go of and you just attach your identity to is probably the loop that you're in. Right? So when you take the time to really see, these are the things that I'm lacking in discipline. And maybe the very thing that brought my business to success and brought my business to being a functional system must be redesigned and brought to discipline to really see what I need to do. And therefore, when you stick to these things and start to unfold that, I need to work over here, I need to work on this, I need to work on this, and I'm gonna make all of these things a part of my discipline routine every single day and follow it as a ritual. That's when the spiritual things start to pop up in your life. Your life starts to navigate itself back on track. You start to get in shape. Your wife loves you more. She even fucks you more, right? You start to do better with your children. You start to do better with your associates. You start to do better in business. Why? Self-mastery begets business. And the second you understand all of that stems from your masculine energy, which is your structure and your discipline, you will find that life starts to treat you 10 times better outside of just business. Business is no longer a hassle because, again, the better you do in your personal life, the better you do in business. And so your closing statement: discipline is divine order made manifest in men. Consider yourself warned.